be brutally honest. But
What the fuck?
exactly, and that was the end of Ezio's story. But now, on to the credits. So, as we're on to the credits, time for a little chatty about my thoughts on the game. Honestly, I love it. Assassin's Creed 2 is, of the Assassin's Creed games I have played thus far, my favorite one to date. Granted, that only includes all of the games up to the first half of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, I need you and Rebecca to get everything in
And
here packed up.
I'll
and
have
loaded
to
into the
save
truck.
my
You and I
thoughts
have to
on
deal with the
this
Templars.
What, they're here?
for a
It was only a matter
second.
of time before they discovered us. To be honest, I'm surprised it took them as long as it did.
Let's go.
Ooh, Hidden Blade. And actually, I may actually end up cutting all my commentary for this section and just doing after commentary, so I can actually do my thoughts and everything.
We ditch this place and then what?
There's another safe house.
Because I really need to use the credits as a place to talk about my thoughts and everything. But this doesn't really give me a good place to do it, what with the fact there's still gameplay going on.
Mr. Miles.
Depends on if it stops or not at an appropriate point. Oh, Vidic, go fuck yourself.
Kind of you to save me the trouble.
What do you want, Vidic?
For you to come home. We miss you terribly.
No.
There's still so much work
You think
for
I'm an
us to do
idiot?
together.
I remember perfectly well
You
that
continue to
the
disappoint in
end
every
of
conceivable way, Mr.
I remember perfectly well that the end of Assassin's Creed 1, your boss said to kill me because you didn't need me anymore.
You saved me so you could keep experimenting on people, destroying their lives. And for what?
This tired argument again. As I recall, you were there, at my side, every step of the way. Their blood is on your hands just as much as mine.
You need to stop him.
I'm on it.
Oh, I am definitely on this. Now, time for a little bit of killing guards in the real world. But for whatever reason, they seem to be using what's basically swords. Though I'm guessing it's more likely to be like, I don't know, tasers or something, than actually swords. That or stun batons, maybe. Not really sure, honestly. Anyways, let's down this guy, and we should be good to go. Yeah. We're getting through this now. As I said, may end up just cutting out my commentary in this bit and doing post-commentary to talk over the credits. That's because I'm probably gonna run out of credits before we actually get through this section, seeing as it's things happening during the credits, which I'm not too fond of when they do stuff like this and there are action scenes going on during the credits. I'd rather not, honestly. I would really rather not. Hey there, douchebag.
Uh-oh, Doc. Looks like it's just you and me now.
Enjoy your victory, Mr. Miles. Temporary as it is.
Desmond, we have to go!
Alrighty, let's get out of here.
There you are. Come on. Help Lucy into the van. Hurry, Desmond. We need to go.
You'll have your turn, Desmond. Warren's gonna get what he deserves. I promise.
I sure
What
hope
now?
so.
Where are we headed?
There's a cabin up north. We should be safe there, at least for a little while. I have to analyze those tapes from your session, figure out what's happening.
And then what?
Here we go. I've got you all hooked up. Got a long drive ahead of us. Figured you might want to play around with the Animus on the way.
Alright, but I got some questions first. I mean, what the hell was that in the vault?
What you saw proves everything I was afraid of. The Templars aren't our biggest threat. Not by a long shot.
So what, the sun is? What's it gonna do? Cook the Earth?
I doubt it, but I don't know. There's been some speculation that the Earth's magnetic field is weakening.
Yeah, they're going with an extreme global warming type of thing.
Theoretical, but if it happens, the planet
Interesting.
is geologically unstable. Very unstable.
It's meant to be the stuff of pseudoscience, but clearly something catastrophic happened to the people of the first civilization. Like that woman. What was her name? Minerva, was it? She seemed to think we were due for a second round.
So either way, we're fucked.
I don't know yet. We'll keep reviewing the tapes. And you can keep digging through your memories. Maybe there's more to discover.
Alright. Guess I better get started.
And now, as I was doing before all that kicked in, it's time for me to talk about the game. So, Assassin's Creed 2 remains, to this day, my favorite Assassin's Creed game that I've ever played. Granted, this only includes Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and about the first half of Assassin's Creed 3, since that's all of the series I have played up to this point. But still, it's my favorite of all of those. And I really always loved it. There's so much about it to really like. The music, one thing, it's just epic. It's got one of the best soundtracks ever, as far as I'm concerned. And just listening to this music, it's just so casual and epic at the same time. And Ezio as a character is just one of my favorites, because unlike Altair, he's not a dick. I mean, if we're being perfectly honest, Ezio is still kind of an asshole. He's got that kind of arrogant, self-important vibe about him for the first little bit of the game. But you can tell that he grows up during the game. He becomes more mature, but in a good way. There's not like any specific point in time where you can tell that's when he stops being an arrogant braggart and becomes the Ezio we see at the end of the game. It's not that it happens at any specific point. It just sort of, there's little things here and there throughout the game where this takes place. And you can see the start result and the end result. Even though Ezio's arrogant at the start of the game, it's, like I said, kind of an charming and attractive sort of arrogance where you can see that Ezio is definitely, if not a good person, then more interesting than Altair was. And he's not killing random people for getting in the way, except when I'm in control and I accidentally air assassinate the wrong person, that is. But Ezio was one of my favorite parts of this game, for one thing, and that is definitely worth mentioning. Not just that, the story went in a very interesting way where you get the chance to learn about and experience a whole load of different historical events and interactions and everything. And I've said this before, but one of my favorite parts of the Assassin's Creed series is the architecture and just visiting different cities and seeing how they all feel different from each other, but not so out there that you can't see how they'd have anything to do with each other. They're different. You can still see there's enough relation between them. I see that they're from the same sort of culture and everything, and just being able to experience the design of the cities and the architecture, and in the case of the viewpoints, climbing a bunch of really tall buildings so that I can look out at what's below me, is all really exciting. And I love the parkour. It's excellent in a lot of ways. Of course, with all that said, there are some things about Assassin's Creed 2 that I didn't like. For one thing, while all the side activities were great and definitely more exciting than the stuff that you had to do leading up to every assassination in Assassin's Creed 1, plus the fact that they were optional, even with all of that, the side activities, at least towards the end of the game, where you're doing the same sort of thing, just with some more filler text, and that was a little bit different. With all of that, the side activities, the assassinations, the races, the package things, all of those just started to become a little bit more repetitive towards the end of the game. Which is why I ended up cutting out, or doing off camera, a huge chunk of them in the last few memory sequences of the game. In addition to that, a lot of the missions where you had to remain undetected were a little bit annoying, just because the stay undetected side of things was not particularly well done, because of the fact that it was just you stay undetected or you fail and you restart. And as I mentioned a few times during this Let's Play, I felt like that whole thing just limited you a little bit more, and I would have much preferred if it was something along the lines of you had an objective that you were striving for, but if you failed it, then you would have a different objective and things would just be harder for some reason. I would have preferred that, unfortunately. But other than stuff like that, and a few minor nitpicks, there were a few cases where I thought the detection didn't make much sense, but other than things like that, I really loved this game. I'm struggling to think of things to complain about, because I prefer when I'm complaining about something for it to be genuine complaints, not just nitpicks. But beyond the fact that some of the side activities got a little stale later on, just because they were kind of repetitive just with flavor text, and just one other thing I can mention. A few of the events in the main story felt a little bit contrived. But other than that, I think overall it was excellent. But now I think it's time for me to mention what I'll be doing next, now that this Let's Play is finished. So, what I am going to be doing following this is, I'm of two minds about this, and by the time you're seeing this in the channel, I will have already made up my mind, so there's not much point in you telling me what you think. But I am most likely going to either be continuing right on and immediately starting up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is my preference, or I have my Let's Play of Vampire that I started a while back on this channel, and what I'm considering doing is that I will start recording that again and go through maybe like 20 episodes or to the end of that series, depending on how long it takes me, because I'm not actually sure how long that game is, and then do Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I have a few other games that I considered for this slot, but Brotherhood and Vampire, and the continuation of Vampire, are the two things I think would be the most suited. But I think that's really all I have to say in this. So I will end this here. This has been Dark Phoenix Gaming, and you have been watching my Let's Play of Assassin's Creed 2. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you loved this game as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you again in whatever playthrough of mine you decide to watch next. So, until next time, I'll see you then. I'll see you then. Take care, everyone, and so long for now.